It's time we look back at one of the classics of the slasher genre. A classic slasher. I make myself laugh sometimes. Anyway, this summer camp-themed slasher film has inspired everything from conventions to reunions to fan films, and has even made icons out of its lead actors. I am, of course, talking about Friday the 3rd, Sleepaway Camp. It's easy for me to get those confused, because one slasher is always just like the other. Nightmare on Elm Street and Black Christmas? Totally the same movie. But let's find out exactly what made Sleepaway Camp the cult classic of the video store shelves that it is. And by that, I mean I'm just gonna sit here and make fun of it, because that's what I do. You think I was renting shit like this off the shelves in the 80s and 90s? Of course not. I was repeatedly renting Alan Rudolph's Welcome to L.A. Luckily, it was always checked in. It was like I was the only one who had any kind of interest in that movie, but I know that can't be true. Out of curiosity, what the hell production company made That was abrupt. Just jumping right into things, are we? Must resist urge to overlay the Friday the 13th soundtrack. Well, maybe this movie has a memorable theme of its own. I'm having a hard time following the lyrics of this music.
Hey, get away from me with that pail of water, I'll kill you.
Okay. Are there shenanigans going on in the sound booth that I should know about? They do know they're recording, right?
Hey, get away from the elbow.
Fuck me, will someone shut these ghosts up? We're trying to film a scene here. You know, once all the dead bodies got swept away, Jonestown really was a nice-looking place. Hey, it's a prologue in a horror film. What's the worst that could happen?
Daddy, tell me to leave me alone. Peter started it. I did not, you liar. Did too. Did not.
Muppet babies, I understand. But Jersey Shore babies? Something bad needs to happen to them then, so it can set things right in the future.
Look, just for a minute.
Uh-oh. I know what's gonna happen. And it's gonna be hilarious. It's true, if you swim in place, you'll move out of the way much quicker.
Oh my God! Somebody help the people! Oh God!
We get it. You're acting. Shit, that life jacket was worth like $10. Cut to 8 years later, and that speedboat has never been the same since. Oh, I see. We're following the surviving child who is now living with her cousin. Damn it, the boat was the most likable character in that scene.
Hurry, sweeties! We don't want to be late for the bus!
Goodness, no. Well, that wouldn't do at all.
The hell was that?
Any chips?
Why, of course! I believe there's a whole bag!
That's the kind of delivery we're going for here? This isn't acting. This is a reality show starring Paula Poundstone.
Now what? I believe that I've forgotten something. Now what can it be?
Dignity. You forgot your dignity.
Oh, I remember what it is. I knew I wouldn't forget. I just kept reminding myself. In fact, I tied a string around my finger so I wouldn't forget.
Joan Crawford's tampon doesn't overact this much.
Good old mom's at it again.
That's your mom? How are you still sane?
Even though they know that I am a doctor.
And she's a doctor? There is such a thing as too much bedside manner. Cancer! Yay! How in the fuck did all of these takes end with the director saying, "Cut! Perfect!" I'm guessing booze. Meanwhile, Freddy Krueger is dropping off the kids from the beginning of Elm Street 2, and we get to meet our main camp director.
Will you move your buttons? Come on, you're going on overtime here.
Classy. He's like George Burns crossed with Baby Herman. Maybe the other employees are on the level.
Look at all that young, fresh chicken.
You mean the kids?
Where I come from, we call them baldies.
Baldies? They have plenty of hair on top. I mean, maybe not down it. Oh, fuck me, he's a diddler.
Marty, they're too young to even understand what's on your mind.
Yes, but I'm sure that they still don't want him to fuck them.
There ain't no such thing as being too young. You're just too old.
Oh, pedophilia. Hey look, a wandering Neil Patrick Harris. I was wondered when they turned Starship Troopers into an 80s kids show. Even Judy Jailbait made it back this summer.
Don't you know girls mature before boys?
That's bullshit and you know it, bitch.
Yeah, damn bitch. Cocksucking whore. Does everyone have a fucking attitude at this camp?
By the way, for those of you who don't know, the name is Meg. M-E-G.
C-U-N-T. Got it. Out of all these kids, the most relatable one is Angela, the catatonic one.
Looks like we got a real winner here. You ain't kidding.
Oh man, someone is totally getting their hand put in warm water tonight. It's gonna make finding a seat at lunchtime very awkward. Oh hey, they're singing the movie's opening theme. It's nice. As you can see, Pat Benatar is most certainly not amused with Angela. Johnny Benchpress, on the other hand, a little less bitchy.
Tell you what, how about if you and me take a walk into the kitchen and see if we can find you something you like? That sound okay?
And by that, I mean I'm gonna put you in the capable hands of the pedophile chef.
Well, hello there, Angela.
Does everyone get raped at summer camp?
I think I got something you're gonna like real good.
Please tell me it's a delicious tab cola. Huh? Oh, nothing. I was just trying to stick my penis in her mouth. Nothing more.
Guess I scared him. Guess so.
Go figure. The guy who's constantly making child molestation jokes and faces like this just may have done something inappropriate with a child. I don't think anyone's gonna shed a tear if this character is bumped off.
Hey, what the hell are you doing?
Just free one of your hands and push the pot of boiling water out of the way. It's not that hard. But they do have a special effects makeup guy on hand, so best put him to good use.
Transforming little Melvin into a hideously deformed creature of superhuman size and strength. Melvin became the Toxic Avenger.
No, he's not the Toxic Avenger. Just a boiled pederast. Okay, I get it. You're in pain. And you paid a lot for those effects, so damn it, you're gonna show it.
What's the prognosis, Doc? Well, he's badly burned all over.
Thank you, Doctor. Any other simplifications we can add to this conversation?
In the future, I hope the rest of you be more careful.
Will do. Next time I try touching a child, I'll make sure not to hover over the biggest pot of boiling water I've ever seen. But seriously, can we finally do something about the flypaper over the soup? I know whenever I catch someone coming onto my underage cousin, the first thing I do, make my friend eat ass.
3.
All part of the summer camp experience. Swimming, sports, romance, rim jobs. Speaking of sports, it's not a summer camp movie without a little baseball, and Well, this answers my question about whether he's the pitcher or the catcher.
What do you have in mind, asswipe?
Buck a man, asshole.
Buck a man? Buck a man? Oh, sorry. I thought you said fuck a man, because, well...
Eat shit and die, Ricky!
Eat shit and live, Bill.
Yeah.
Is this camp funded by Andrew Dice Clay? Seriously! Such foul language. Looks like they've switched up their pitcher with Gino Power Top Torelli.
Having some real competition next time.
Yeah, maybe the girls want to get...
They would, except that you boys seem to be wearing their clothes.
Fuck you!
Okay, geez, you guys are straight. You're totally straight.
Who wants to go skinny dipping with 15 guys and only 5 girls?
Right? I mean, if you get rid of the 5 girls, well, then we have a plan. But at least take along Angela for good measure.
Listen, Angela, let's say, me and you go for a little walk somewhere. What do we talk about tonight, huh?
And when hitting on her doesn't work, just insult her.
What's the matter? Can't you talk? I told you she was playing with half a deck. Angela the nutcake. Ain't that right, Angela? Ain't you Looney Tunes?
Stupid jocks think they're so homoerotic. Wait till they see my hat.
Asshole! Fox! I'm gonna beat your fucking ass today! You and one arm! Pricks! Shut your mouth, William Mel's here. I'll give a shit!
Be careful, son. You're gonna get your mouth washed out with ass. After all that trouble, though, still no takers for the evening sausage fest?
Why don't you start with that?
The hell with you, then! You don't know how to have any fun anyway!
Into the steaming hot water, boys! This lake isn't gonna salt itself! At least now I know I'm watching the uncut version. No, seriously, the most popular DVD version of this movie is heavily edited. It cuts down nearly all of the death scenes and this shot of man-ass. One kid managed to score, though, until he dumped her in the lake that is probably mostly splooged now.
You bastard, I hate you!
She's so mad she turned into a completely different actress. Unfortunately, he's interrupted by the mermaid from Gums, only this time he's doing the blowing.
Is this what's called getting caught with your pants down? Stupid shit!
No, this is what I call overcompensating. This movie's as homoerotic as the XFL. How is it that it's summer camp, and it's the early 80s, and with all those young, horny bodies, the only thing to end up inside someone was a fucking snake? I'm sure that dummy belongs to someone.
As far as I can tell, the boy drowned.
Is your brother also the doctor in this town? He was just as enlightening as you are.
I was just thinking. I remember that boy being a pretty damn good swimmer.
Well then, case closed. Good swimmers never ever drown. It has to be murder. And why don't you guys go ahead and speak louder? I don't think the grade schoolers heard you, but at least they saw you drag away the body.
If you'll excuse me, I have the unpleasant task of informing the boy's parents. Thank you for your help, officer.
You are sued! So fucking sued! These kids seem to be doing pretty well, given that 2 people have suddenly died. In fact, Ball here even has a shot with Angela.
We go back a long time. We've been best friends for 3 years already. We always seem to get into trouble together. Last year we hung the girl's panties on the flagpole.
And with lines like that, I think he's sealed the deal.
I was wondering, you want to go to the movie in the rec hall tonight?
It's this movie called Chatterbox. I think it's about a magical music box or something.
Hey, how come Angela gets to talk to the boys all day? And we have to play volleyball.
Oh, come on. You can't suck all the underage boys' dicks, especially now that the pedophile chef is gone. Luckily, Detective Linden from The Killing shows up as the good counselor. Not to say she isn't the only good counselor.
You'll see this at the end of the summer if you're lucky.
Now, who wants to hop in the orgy pile? Nothing like a swim after a good gangbang, I always say. If you're lucky, when you're making out later, maybe she'll have a flashback to her 2 dads boning.
God damn it! Answer me, Angela! Answer me! God damn it! Answer me! What the hell's going on? Oh, bitch won't answer me! She never answers me!
Jesus. This character is so dead that her character should be classified as suicidal by this point.
Hey, Angela. How come you never take showers when the rest of us do?
It's a weird line. Wonder if that'll come into play later in the movie.
She's a real carpenter's dream. The lattice a board and needs a screw. That's enough! Fuck off!
Can this just be called The Real Housewives of Sleepaway Camp at this point? But alright, no, that's too insulting. Comparing anything to a reality show is just crossing the line, no matter how upset I get. Woohoo, come on, boys! These shorts aren't gonna get any wetter!
Fucking bastards are gonna pay for this! Cocksuckers! Pricks! Oh, you chicken shit! Come on, you fucking pussies! I'll kick your freaking asses over this goddamn camp, you fucks!
For a second, I thought he was going too far, but then he added the word freakin'. Possibly because he ran out of all the other words. Now let's just stand here and wait for the dissolve cut to pass. Hey guys, I'm gonna go look at this nudie magazine. It's got naked girls in it, you know, girls, women, naked. It totally does. I'm gonna look at it. Okay, I added that in. And I also added this.
Not the beast! Ah! Open up my eyes! Eyes! Ah! Ah!
Easiest fucking reference I ever made. I almost feel lazy for adding it. Why can't you just crawl under the stall? Plus, where did the bees go? I am not gonna reference The Happening. Oh, there they are. That's funny. I remember that boy being a pretty damn good beekeeper. Nothing a little game capture the flag can't fix? Yeah, that's it. Just all run around in one small pile. That's strategy. Angela here seems just as enthused in this game as I am.
Tell you what, give me about 5 minutes, and when I see them run after you, I'll sneak out and grab the flag.
I hope it works.
I personally am much more intrigued by the preteen love triangle.
You're a real scumbag, Judy, you know that?
Fuck you, Ricky.
These kids keep up that language, they could make a living cursing at stuff they don't like. But you know, I'm sure he's sorry. Say. Oh, right. She's 15. Fucking hate it when that happens.
Oh, what's the matter? You afraid? Huh?
That stare. At least it'll haunt E.T.'s vagina right the fuck out of my nightmares. What the hell is this guy doing in the background? He's regretting not being there to punch the bees off of this kid, or to stop these kids from kicking sand on Angela.
Fuckers!
He calls the kids fuckers. Well, hey, at least the kids get what's coming to them. That's right, they all get chopped up with a fucking axe. Friday the 13th got its action over with before the kids even showed up. This one puts the kids in the movie, then fucking kills them. All while being incredibly sleazy.
Listen, I was thinking. Remember that dinner you promised me? Up at your place?
Yeah.
I saw a snake crawl out of a dead kid's mouth, and this is what's making me ew. The movie certainly wants us to think it's Angela, but you can't fool me. I know Loverboy's work anywhere. No band can possibly be that catchy. Oh, no! Oh, but at least the Loverboy poster seems to be alright. Perfect. You got half the blood off of it. Now just place the body in the shower so it'll conveniently pop out when he walks by.
Not too bad. Let him go. Forgive me. Please forgive me. You won't get away, Rag. You'll never get away from me again.
Sir, this is hardly the time, place, or the type of movie that you should be monologuing in. Actually, she was probably about the hottest piece who was ever gonna bang you, so, you know what? Monologue away. Hell, just beat the living shit out of this kid while you're at it. It's sleepaway camp. When we're not killing children, we're beating them to a bloody fucking pulp. Or secretly hoping that they're over 18.
Chicken shit.
Oof, god damn it. My pussy will get pounded, even if it's by a damn curling iron. It's a good thing she was knocked out first, because she's clearly not making a sound. There, just stick her back there and hope she isn't found at the next orgy. And leave some room for this guy, too.
It can't be. It can't be.
Shit. Not a bad effect, really. Seriously, it was so convincing it knocked this guy's mustache off and replaced it with 2 black pieces of tape. At least someone in this movie is finally gonna get nailed.
What about our clothes?
Take them off.
Hey, what are you cutting away for? I totally thought you were gonna show 2 13-year-olds fuck. They do cut back to them, and dude seems happy enough.
It's Angela. Angela.
Oh, well, he's dead.
Angela! Are you okay?
And Angela's the killer. Oh, do we really need her back in this movie? I don't care if this is a flashback. What could it possibly reveal, except for the butchering of a few more line readings?
You see, I've always wanted a little girl. But of course, when my husband left... Oh, well, that's all water under the bridge, as I always say. Water under the bridge.
Your husband didn't just leave. He buried himself in Giant Stadium just to get away from you. I really don't care about the rest of this. Angela's the killer, movie's over, and that's the end of that.
Angela. Such a lovely name. Why, I believe it means angel. Why, yes, I'm sure it does. I know you're going to like that name. Won't you, Peter?
She's a boy.
That's a dick. Well, that was unexpected, and let me guess, it's totally out of nowhere without any hints along the way. Except for this, of course.
How come you never take showers when the rest of us do?
And there was this, too.
Why, they're your physicals, of course. Just be careful not to tell anyone how you got them.
Not really sure what's going on here. And we didn't really get a good look at the kid at the beginning. Okay, so it planned its twist out fine, and it was very shocking. But how is it that male ass has to get cut for the edited version, but preteen dick? Oh, no, that's okay. You get a pass on that one. And props for not giving the twist away in the movie's trailer.
Dear Mom and Dad, I've been at a sleepaway camp for almost 3 weeks. And I'm getting very scared.
Who the hell is writing this letter? None of the kids seem scared, they're just playing capture the flag. And by the way, it's Camp Arawak. Notice the shirt.
Sleepaway camp. You won't be coming home.
Unless you're one of the 500 campers who did go home, then you'll be fine. Not every slasher film has a twist ending so memorable that it makes the movie spawn off quote-unquote sequels, short films with side characters, and references on sketch comedy shows.
Oh my God! Angela's the killer and she was really a boy! Oh my God! Somebody remembered this movie and wrote a comedy sketch about it!
That is probably one of the greatest things ever. But I will stick with real surprise penis movies, thank you very much, such as The Crying Game, even though that really wasn't the end of that movie, more like the middle, but who cares? The Crying Game wasn't a slasher film, so that instantly makes it better. You slasher fans can have your sleepaway camp, but I know a good steam room to go to when I want water balloon fights, bunk orgies, and shorty shorts. Perhaps I've said too much.
Wait till you get a load of Judy. Man, oh man.
That's a dick! Normally, I don't tackle a film sequel this quickly, but after the nightmarish way the first film ended, I was kind of curious to see where Angela's story went from there.
What are you looking for? A gun? No? A drill.
Oh, okay. So it's a comedy now. It's self-aware. Goody. 'Cause that always works. Sleepaway Camp 2 is actually made by a different writer and director, as you can see with this credit, based on an idea by Robert Hiltzik. Sure, in that both films feature campers, the woods, and a killer. I don't see Don't Go in the Woods saying based on an idea by every slasher filmmaker ever. You know your movie is bad, though, when it screams at its own start.
Michelle's.
What the hell was that? This time around it takes place at Camp Mullet, though that's not fair. I'm sure he's the only one with that unfortunate, nope, there's two. Put both of those haircuts together and I'm sure that they equal... Don't really know what they equal, but I'm positive whatever it is very trashy. And in case you forgot that a movie called Sleepaway Camp 2 is the sequel to something, they'll sum up the first one for you.
There used to be this camp about 60 miles from here. All these kids started getting killed. A bunch of little kids were hatcheted to death, and a girl got stabbed while taking a shower. Well, it ended up that the killer was the shy 14-year-old girl that everybody picked on. Except this girl, she wasn't a girl. Phoebe, let's go. She was really a he.
And there you have Sleepaway Camp in 5 seconds. And it's still better than Sleepaway Camp 2.
I heard two stories. One, that he's dead, and two, that he's in Hollywood playing the dark-haired girl on The Facts of Life.
George Clooney?
He went into a psycho ward a couple years ago, and while he was there, the doctors gave him a sex change, and our parents' taxes paid for it.
Thanks, young Bill O'Reilly. Later you'll get killed with a loofah. One of the campers gets lost, but just turn around. There's plenty of light behind you. And soon enough, in the film's opening scene, Angela turns up.
Where the hell are you? Right here.
Gee, I wonder who the killer is.
What a bad camper.
You know, this is no joke. I've seen this movie before. I own all of them. I took last week off because I sat down to watch this, and after 5 seconds I thought, no, I'm just not in the mood right now. I need to sleep for a good 5 solid days before I watch this movie again. They do keep it rather classy by having the film take place at Camp Hot for Teacher, where you're either a 25-year-old girl or a 12-year-old boy. And if you are a 25-year-old boy, you still have the brain of a 12-year-old.
The Shit Sisters?
Jody and Brooke Shote. Shote, shit, get it?
They look like they're stoned all the time.
They are.
I've seen more enlightening conversations at the max. None of the campers seem to like Angela because, well, she's fucking annoying.
She kicks out thieves and they make her counselor of the week?
I know, right? Isn't she just the worst?
Camp Rolling Hills is the best!
I just don't understand how you go from this...
What's the matter? You afraid? Huh?
to this.
Oh, I'm a happy camper. I love the summer sun. I love the trees and forests. I'm always having fun.
My soul just re-entered my body, only so it could leave it again, then kick me in the balls on the way out. Maybe next time she could actually play that guitar.
I was thinking, today's your day off and everything, but I was thinking if you'd like to come down to the pool and swim.
No thanks. I'm really not a very good swimmer.
You know, those little hints aren't very surprising when we already know she used to be a dude. Hopefully we can see a little chemistry between the actors before they all die.
I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters. Everyone calls us the Brady Bunch.
It isn't because you have siblings, it's because you aren't funny.
You know, the newspapers say I'm the best soccer player Lyons Township's had in the past 7 years.
Yes, I can tell by the way you're handling that obvious soccer ball. Well, sure enough, a couple of the campers get plenty wasted on chugging their root beer a little too fast. And it must have a huge effect because she's not having any kind of reaction to sitting on this hot grill.
Say no to drugs.
I'm not laughing at that line. It's just that the match went out right after she threw it. This movie is so bad, even the minor characters want out of this thing.
Don't you like to paint?
No, I want to go home. I hate this place. Let me go home.
Oh, just let her go and she'll come back when she's a better actress. And so, the character just leaves. She doesn't get killed, she doesn't return to the movie, she just goes home. And there you have it. Because of that one pointless scene, your movie is now officially 80 minutes long. I wonder if any 20-something is gonna want to fuck this camp director like in the last film.
Well, you can't please everybody. 2 down, 38 to go.
Okay, even I want to fuck this guy's voice.
I have a counselor's meeting in a few minutes. I hope there won't be any problems when I'm gone.
You're the same age as the rest of them! Plus, if you leave, you'll miss this bitchin' 80s slasher movie party. If only he had on that backwards strap-on and we'd finally see the rickshaw in action. You know it's a successful panty raid when none of the panties get stolen. Angela comes in all butthurt, but I think it's because it's clearly daylight outside when it's supposed to be at night. And before it goes off on a detour too much, once again, it still has to remind us that it's a sequel.
I'm so shy sometimes. I used to be shy. I'd never talk to anyone.
But that was when I was played by a different actress. Now I'm perky as shit!
I'm still a virgin. And I'm proud to be one.
Ah, so she'll be the survivor then. Except she's the killer. She's also a girl and a virgin, so the nympho will survive? Or maybe Angela will kill herself? Or I'm so fucking confused right now. I need to watch Siskel and Ebert's Women in Danger special again. She may be a little obnoxious, but at least she's subtle.
Dead teenager's brains. Angela, what's really in there? Dead teenager's brains.
She's lying. It's actually a copy of Sleepaway Camp 2, but that's just too disgusting to admit to. Maybe she can amp it up by taking the brains of the 12-year-olds.
They should be sent home.
Charlie and Emilio have been coming here for years.
I'm sorry, their names are what?
Charlie and Emilio have been coming here for years.
Weird coincidence. Wait, what were the other characters' names again?
Oh, don't worry about Allie.
So are Molly.
My name is not Mary, it's Mare.
Want to help Rob?
Have either of you guys seen Judd or Anthony?
Charlie, Emilio, Allie, Molly, Judd, Anthony, and Mare. Cute. This movie's the worst thing to happen to the Brat Pack next to the 90s. They even got Renee Estevez to play one of the leads. And Angela? That's Bruce Springsteen's sister, Pamela. Bruce, by the way, was my favorite Brat Packer. You know what they say, though? If you're in a shitty slasher film, just make your own.
Now this will give Angela one hell of a nightmare.
Sleepaway Camp 2, reminding you of better horror films years before Scream did. There's even one guy who tries dressing up like Jason. At least now that eye-catching box cover makes sense, except I still don't know who this is. Hobo Leatherface also makes a cameo in the thing.
Please, no!
Sorry. Once I start a task, I always finish.
Even the killer from Nail Gun Massacre would tell you that you're not funny. Say, who needs a toilet when you've got a mouth?
Why is this door locked?
Because it's a fucking bathroom! We obviously know the slutty one is gonna die, but at least she's not a bitch, right?
I know you hate me as much as I hate you.
I don't hate you.
In fact, who are you? We've barely had any scenes together. The movie does have the common courtesy, though, to kill her after she's done fucking a log. Then again, they do toss her into a pool of other logs.
Shit! That's right, one of your favorite words. Well, if you mind if I borrow it for a moment? You've been a shitty friend and a shitty camper.
This movie has no right to be calling something else shit. I don't care what any of you say, she's never looked hotter.
You should have been the first to go.
Yeah, but she had to show her tits like 5 or 6 more times first. It was in her contract. Oh, is 20 more minutes gone by? I've already forgotten about the first one again. What happened in that film?
You know something? I almost went to Camp Airwhack the year all those kids got killed, but my daddy couldn't afford it.
Oh man, you're lucky.
What are you telling me?
Yes, lucky, with that awful 98% survival rate. Oh, hey, she's actually playing the guitar this time.
To me. Hi.
Of course there's a Demi. I can't wait until Spader shows up and fucks all of them. Demi starts running her mouth that the campers that Angela supposedly sent home never actually made it home. So the logical conclusion is to find some kind of weapon to shut Demi up. There! Now no one will ever know that those campers were never sent home. Holy shit! Angela's the killer and she was Wendy Torrance this entire time! Nothing like tossing and turning because the movie you're starring in is giving you nightmares.
We'll do my favorite, the Happy Camper song.
I already know the movie sucks. You don't need to remind me by showing clips that I've already seen.
I'm a happy camper. I love the summer sun.
Ooh, now do Dancing in the Dark. Angela's a little upset because she was just fired for, well, sending all of those other kids home.
I even called the police. I was afraid they were dead.
Again, this camp is so sued. So fucking sued. Molly and Sean, meanwhile, occupy themselves by investigating whatever keeps them busy in the third act.
She's crazier than hell.
Rob.
Yeah, Rob. Go back to making your sex tape. They find Angela at her happy place, but unfortunately, they've entered the truth zone.
He reminds me of this boy that I knew when I was about your age. He didn't like me very much either. But I fixed him. How? I drowned him.
Now tell them about the time you fucked a girl to death with a curling iron. That's a great story.
Hey, I wonder what's in here.
Dude, why the fuck would you even think to go in there, except to conveniently find all of those dead bodies? Molly and Sean get held captive, while Angela concocts a delicious dinner of battery acid.
I always like to read the ingredients before I buy anything. You'd be surprised what they put in food these days. I mean, some of that stuff is poison.
Oh, who cares about the ingredients? So long as it's delicious, who cares if it kills you? God damn it! Why is everyone instinctively going into that abandoned cabin? There's battery acid in it! Whew! At least his hair is okay.
Angela.
Yes?
You're Angela Baker.
No, she's not. Most of the corpses look to be rotting rather quickly, except for this one that is still breathing. Molly escapes, but oh shit! Fucking tragedy as she plummets only about 2 feet. With about 5 minutes left and several people still alive, let's wrap this up. You can even kill the children, too. That was quite an elaborate trap for a character that I've never seen before.
Good night, campers.
Luckily, Molly didn't sustain any permanent damage from her little trip. Given that the first film had that shocking twist at the end, I can only imagine what this one is gonna do to try to top that film's conclusion.
Oh, she cut your hair? Got it, partner!
Will time stand still?
Ugh. Well, in a way, this ending was scarier than the first. It sets itself up for a sequel. And did they make a sequel? Of course they fucking did! Apparently, as long as you just reference things from the original, you can do whatever the fuck you want with the tone of your sequel. Of course, I didn't even care that much for the first one. But please, even when it's a sequel, I still prefer it to be exactly like something that I already didn't like. And in the meantime, I will stick with real summer camp movies like Stalag 17, thank you very much.
Listen, you don't have AIDS or anything, do you?
No! Since I've been begging to find out all the answers in the notorious Sleepaway Camp series, I suppose it is time I sat down to see what is all revealed in Sleepaway Camp 3. Could this feel like a truer sequel to the original than the second one?
Oh, let's all sing a rousing camp song. Does anyone know I'm a happy camper?
I do!
Nope, because it's not a sequel to Sleepaway Camp. It's a sequel to Sleepaway Camp 2. With Sleepaway Camp 2 being released in 1988 and this film in 89, both films were shot back-to-back over a 6-week period of time, because the world really needed 2 films to follow up an obscure slasher movie that the sequels don't even share the same tone with. If we're talking back-to-back sequels, I'll stick with Back to the Future Parts 2 and 3, thank you very much. These movies can go hang out with Matrix 2 and 3. At least it starts off right. I want to shove this movie up someone's ass, too. What's that say on her tits? Milkshake? Funny that they're on tits small enough to merit neither of those words. Also, yes, they are filming your tits. You may want to get paid up front. But an unseen force of evil is tracking this girl down, and I don't think it's Angela. Okay, it is Angela, who has taken what looks to be the appearance of the girl she just killed so she can steal her identity to attend a summer camp for young people in drug rehab. Why? Oh, that's why. Because she's back? Thanks, most professional-looking graffiti artist ever. And why the hell would someone writing graffiti in New York City know who Angela is? By the way, the full title for the movie is Sleepaway Camp 3: Teenage Wasteland. That's what most people call it anyway, but the real title is Sleepaway Camp 3: Baba O'Reilly. Right off the bat, Angela arrives at Camp New Horizons with a cast of characters who didn't quite make the hooligan casting call for Ernest Goes to Camp. What? Michael J. Pollard? You were in Bonnie and Clyde!
Well, Tawny, we brung together 2 specially selected groups from all over America. The first group is from the higher class establishments, and the other is from lower class homes.
Okay, I want whatever weed Michael is smoking here. Also, does Jennifer Coolidge have to overact in everything?
In our own little way, we'd like to promote sharing, love, harmony, and peace, and a better understanding between the rich and the poor.
By the way, stop looking at the camera. If you're gonna look at a camera, look at the one that's actually in the scene.
Ironically, Camp New Horizons was formerly known as Camp Rolling Hills, where last year 19 people were brutally slain by alleged psychopath Angela Baker.
Hey, that's a great excuse as to why we're using the same exact sets from the second film. If only they would have used the same characters from the first, then this would feel like a true sequel. The reporter takes advantage of being surrounded by drug addicts, so she asks Angela for a little coke.
Yeah, there's a machine in the dining hall.
Funny thing is, she's right. Anyway, Angela mixes it with, I don't know, radiation, and sends the reporter on her way.
Happy camping.
Thanks. Have a nice life.
What's left of it?
What's left of it?
Fuck you! Too bad she asked for the instant death mixture, but at least she's still strong enough to hold herself up off the ground as she's dying. I just feel bad for Conan O'Brien here, who gets shunned by the Run DMC, Theo Huxtable, and Johnny Rotten table.
Could you turn that off? Please?
Hey, take it in while you can. Music only got worse over the years.
Suck my dick, Spick.
No, don't get mad. He was only quoting the title of his next hit single. Oh, damn. Patrick Duffy's a badass in this, especially for being the shortest person in the room. Hey, it was nice of those to return for the sequel, and those too. Plus, the cabins come with the same graffiti artist / stagehand from the beginning of the film.
We're here because they can't get anybody else. And then we've got some crazy asshole named Angela Baker to thank for it.
Yes, Angela killed a bunch of campers, therefore we must go into drug rehab. Makes sense to me. But some people are having trouble buying Angela's identity.
No offense, but it looks like you've been through a lot in 17 years.
Hey, don't be too hard on her. She looks more 17 than the actual 17-year-old character. At least no one in this movie is named after the Brat Pack like in the second movie.
Peter, Jan, Maria, and Snowboy. Barney's group is Marcia, Tony, Anita, and Greg, right over there.
Wait a minute. Peter, Jan, Marcia, Greg. You're going from the Brat Pack to the Brady Bunch? That's like going from the Rat Pack to an actual pack of rats.
Where'd you learn to chop wood like that?
I've never chopped wood before, but I've chopped other things.
Did she know there's a camera there or something? Who else is she making this joke to? But given how Mike Kellen got some counselor action in the first film, how about a little sugar for Michael J. Pollard? What? He was in Dick Tracy. You know you'd fuck him too. Unfortunately, though, this means he's about to die. Ooh, Angela's the killer. I really think Angela is running out of ideas here. No, not the space right beside his head. Sucks that they're not catching any fish, though, in movie reference Lake.
There's a lot of trash in this lake.
Yeah, but there's apparently better movies in it. You know, I will kinda hand it to this movie, though.
Party all night! Teenage Wasteland!
You brat!
Screw off. Bombs away!
Ow! Snowboy, would you help me with the fish?
I'm busy.
I am looking forward to all the characters dying. I take that back. Young love couple here, they're kind of adorable with their meet-cute glances and their walk through the woods where they get scared by a raccoon. That's charming! And the most important factor in a slasher film is the love story. And throwing fireworks at people. Well, I wonder what's gonna happen to this fucking guy. Happy 4th of July!
Better up.
God damn it, Angela! Quit hitting people with fucking sticks! It's still early in the night, though. What other summer camp pranks can we play? The old stick a friend's body in a warm tent and watch him piss himself trick. Huh? Uh-oh. Oh, no.
The air is fresh, brisk, and sweet. Why, I could even smell your feet. It's the dinky-dinky-doo-dah morning. Dinky-dinky-doo-dah morning. Morning, morning, doo-dah morning. Dinky-dinky-doo-dah morning, morning.
No no time for breakfast. Still plenty of recovering drug addicts to kill.
Hey, how old are you anyway?
17.
Oh, you look older.
So do you. So does everyone else at this fucking camp. Now you have to die.
Don't you ever!
Wow, that was really brutal of the censors to heavily edit that scene. Enough of the deaths for a minute. Let's get to know these people a little better, like what their favorite movie is.
E.T.
Yeah, I love the scene where the Austrian guy barebacks it.
I like movies that make America look great.
Ah, like Scarface.
Cindy, what's your favorite movie?
Oh, I don't know. Ones with really good acting, like Gone with the Wind.
Then you must really hate Sleepaway Camp 3.
Ones with tits and blood.
Then you must love... No, you'd still hate Sleepaway Camp 3.
What I want to know is why do we have to keep on listening to those stupid rap tapes?
Because it's better than listening to... I don't know.
Fuck you.
Riff now.
I mean, rap is a hell of a lot better than that country shit.
Shitato.
Bitch.
You dirty nigger.
Riff.
And that was the last time that Dr. Dre and Princess Clara ever went camping together. This'll make you think twice about hanging out with the racist during a trust exercise.
How you doing, honey? Okay. Good. I wish I could say the same. That nigger could have killed me.
Alright, Sarah Silverman, you're pretty and edgy. Take it down a notch. Hey look, she's dropping her off in Detroit. This should be fun. Or are they just reenacting the opening credits of Salute Your Shorts? I guess that'll happen when you don't land on your feet. Angela takes a little time out to reflect on that other movie shot the previous week. It's been so long that everything still looks oh so clean. Why doesn't she just flash back to the first one? That was a better movie. And I think that they're using the second take to the Happy Camper song, because Pamela Springsteen looks a little more annoyed in this take.
Oh, I'm a happy camper. I love the summer sun. I love the trees and forests. I'm always having fun.
Then it starts going into scenes that didn't even exist.
I've had a lot of hard times. I've been abused, picked on, and misunderstood more often than I can remember.
The hell part of the movie was that from? Usually you have to access the DVD menu for the deleted scenes, not the characters' flashbacks.
You like me. You really, really like me.
Oh, I can't imagine why they didn't leave in the Sally Field reference. Who cares? Angela is still a monster. Look, she spilled acid all over this guy's jeans. Hey, maybe they'll catch another hockey mask for dinner, but it'll probably be the one from Friday the 13th Part 5, the tofu of Jason masks. Thankfully, we've got an interlude here with the charming young couple.
Maybe I'll come live with you in Idaho.
It's Ohio.
Same difference.
I am seriously rooting for them. Why do all of these deaths have to cut in on a perfectly good love story?
You have to live one of these.
I'm moving to Ohio.
Enough of that. Let's bury a woman up to her neck and then run over her head with a lawnmower. And let me just say, this is quite tame, considering that the Romans did it so much better. Who gives a shit anyway? It's not like they're gonna show it. And they don't. Same deal when this would-be politician gets his arms tied up to a Jeep.
Thank God there'll be one less idiot in politics.
There's still Rick Perry. Thank you, Sleepaway Camp 3, for being less graphic than a PG-13 slasher film. And by the way, I know I'm watching an edited version. Whatever makes this 79-minute movie shorter. Angela's on a bit of a roll, however, as she next sets her sights on MC Gusto here. Again with the fucking sticks? Son of a bitch, Angela! What did the trees ever do to you? They had to linger on that shot because it's one of the few things they could actually show in this version. Angela then separates up the movie's couple for a bit, which I don't like, in order to go hiking with that group of campers.
What are you gonna do?
Gotta cut it off.
No!
I'm just joking.
I don't trust this movie set. I think she actually thought they were gonna cut her leg off. We're well into the third act, though, so it's best the lead girl finds one of the dead bodies. Oh my god, cutting the gore out of a slasher film, I'd be sick too. But then again, why would I be watching a slasher film in the first place? Oh, sorry, did you have something funny to say about this?
Seems like every time I go to camp, somebody loses their head.
Yeah! Too bad you didn't show it! As it turns out, Bill Sadler here is the father of, oh, who cares? Hey, an effect shot! I didn't think I'd see that again. What? Another trust exercise? Why are you people letting her tie you up? And how did you idiots not see that? They think this is bad. Try searching around the camp while ass to mouth. By the end, the only remaining campers are a young couple, and Angela does something rather surprising, which is let them go.
But you and Marcia make a nice couple. And as man always says, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Bye.
See? Even she wants them to get together. Now everyone can go about their separate ways. Or not. Seriously, a slasher villain was letting you go. Take advantage of that, or just stab her a bunch of times.
She doesn't deserve to live.
What do you mean?
Let's kill her. Nobody'll know.
Right? And then there won't be any more sequels.
Jesus Christ!
Damn, that was an awesome reenactment to the opening of Halloween 4. But with all of these damn sleepaway camp movies, it's nice that we have a happy ending.
We can be together forever. Get married.
Tony.
What?
I kind of already have a boyfriend.
What?
You could come visit me.
Yeah?
Oh, you fucking whore! Well, that was the biggest cock tease I've ever seen in a slasher without resulting in a decapitation. Plus, Angela appears to still be alive at the end of the film, so there's not even a proper conclusion in that regard. Except in the uncut version. But I'm only paying attention to the more sucky one here, because that's what I do. And who is she? But there is more sequels that follow it, and they don't have much to do with this film. Though that could be a good thing, really. But we know it won't be.
God, that Tony guy is so cute. He's Mexican.
Well, here I am, talking about a movie that was never technically finished. I don't see the harm in talking about an unfinished film. I can't remember that ever going wrong in the past. So, what's the story behind Sleepaway Camp 4: The Survivor? The film went into production in 1992, but Double Helix Films, the company behind Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3, fell into bankruptcy during the making of the film. Really? That couldn't have happened during the making of Sleepaway Camp 2? Would have saved me from seeing this?
Oh, I'm a happy camper. I love the summer sun.
Production footage of the unfinished Sleepaway Camp 4 was released as a Best Buy exclusive bonus disc in the Sleepaway Camp box set. Hear that? If you shop at Best Buy, you can get clips of a terrible movie that couldn't even climax. What a deal! But luckily enough, 20 years later, the movie was finished. And by finished, I mean that it wasn't finished. Webmaster of SleepawayCampFilms.com helped edit together a 70-minute film that combines the production footage of Sleepaway Camp 4 with stock footage of the other 3 films. Because stock footage films are always good.
Garbage day! Huh? No!
The movie begins by showing us the ending to part 3. But when you show the finale of the previous film, and it shows two characters fighting, I'm sorry, you need to include this somewhere. Especially since the subtitle of your movie is Survivor. Thankfully, it doesn't remind us of this whore breaking this poor camper's heart again. It just shows them sitting in the car. The lead, I guess, is a woman named Allison, who is explained to us in an opening text crawl, which screams of all of this was supposed to be filmed, but never was. Allison is a woman without identity. Except her name is Allison. She is plagued by horrific nightmares. I guess it would be horrific to dream of sequences you weren't even in. I advised her that she is a survivor of a series of sleepaway camp massacres that occurred over the past decade. Yeah, interesting theory, except there wasn't one survivor who was present during all 3 movies. Unless you count Angela. Fuck me, Allison is Angela! Nice to know that the credit font from the previous 2 movies survived the production shutdown. Hey, footage of trees! Wait, go back and show the trees! Can you zoom in closer? Oh, there you go. Is there a lake down there too? Why, yes there is. And also, an I Spit on Your Grave reenactment. That can't be good.
I remember a day like today, when Angela stalked these grounds.
It's always unfortunate when the voice in your head is speaking into a broken megaphone at the end of a 200-foot hallway.
A tent on top of that hill was the scene of a gruesome attack.
Good segue, except in the 3rd movie, that scene didn't take place on top of a hill. Don't forget, kids, if you wear a Playboy bunny belt, beautiful teenagers will blow you. I sort of like the image, though, of Angela beating to death the producer who had the bright idea to finish this movie. Also, if she isn't Angela, how does this Allison chick know all of this? No one else was there during this scene. Whoa! Spoiler alert! You're just gonna throw the ending of the first film in there? What if the viewer hasn't seen the first one and just wants to skip right to part 4? Which they could honestly do, because this movie really is just the cliff notes of the first 3 movies.
You see, I've always wanted a little girl. But of course, when my husband left...
Wait, that wasn't her husband. This is Angela's aunt, and that's Angela's dad. And if the other guy is the aunt's husband, that makes this pretty fucked up.
You know what they say? It starts in the home. Or is it just a bad gene pool?
What? No, I don't know what they say, because I can't hear a single word that you're saying. Well, it just cuts away after giving the Angela Peter explanation. Wait, Angela Peter... Angela is Peter. Angela's Peter. Ugh, that's a terrible fucking joke. And since it cuts away, I'm guessing that Angela's Peter didn't give permission to use the cock footage. Get it? Because it sounds like stock footage. Allison then goes on to say she remembers this day from the first movie. I think an even better twist would be if she turned out to be the pedophile chef after getting plastic surgery. Watching stock footage of Sleepaway Camp for some reason reminds me of that time I scared a girl in the shower.
Hey, mind if I move into your spare room?
Okay, back to that day she remembers.
Hey, Rick! Wait till you get a load of Judy! Man, oh man! Oh, yeah?
Thank you. In case you didn't know what tits looked like. And those aren't even Judy's tits they flash to. There's Judy.
She's a real carpenter's dream. The light is a board and needs a screw.
Okay, why does it keep splicing in clips of other clips during your clip? Neither of those scenes had anything to do with one another.
Whatever happened to Angela Baker?
Nobody knows. There are no pictures of her since 7 years ago.
Yes, I know. The opening text crawl already told us about this. You ever riff the same movie twice? It's not easy. I like when they reuse this scene from Sleepaway Camp 2, except it wasn't in Sleepaway Camp 2, it was a deleted scene that showed up in Sleepaway Camp 3. So now this clip has been used in nearly all the sequels, except the one it was originally supposed to be in. Is it any wonder that this movie is from the director of The Real Bruce Lee, which featured archive footage of Bruce Lee and this guy?
Remember, you must always uphold, as I have, the honor of the martial arts. If something should happen to me, you'll be my successor.
Oh, and thank you for reminding me of a bloodless scene involving a lawnmower decapitation. It gets bloodier when she simply just mentions the word head.
How many have you killed this time?
Quite a bit, actually. When you reuse footage of the death scenes, it just doubles the body count, like this.
A knife? What a chainsaw.
Cool. You showed me how all of those things can be used to kill people. I would have been confused otherwise. You know, seeing the scene where all the kids were sitting around the campfire reminds me of when I ate a baby.
I think it's expired.
I like how the characters from the stock footage are explaining more about the clips than the actual character who is supposed to be telling us this story.
And a girl got stabbed while taking a shower.
So let's watch that happen again. And just who opened this door? She's just kind of standing there already in position when it opened. Maybe it's the same invisible person who pushed Meg's body out of the shower. Also, nothing pads out your stock footage film like a death scene that already went on too long to begin with. Speaking of which, shit, I've got to pad out this review too. And even out of context, things still don't make any sense.
He went into a psycho ward a couple years ago. And while he was there, the doctors gave him a sex change.
What doctor at a mental institution would allow that for a patient? That's about as realistic as me fighting Bigfoot.
Jesus fuck! What the fucking...
Savage beast! That's fucking stupid. Hey, this scene had nudity in it. Let's throw that in here.
Hey, what about you guys?
Wasted!
Wasted, huh? Did I ever drink on this show?
So as you can see, I am clearly drunk off of this very fine clinker brick winery. I bought it because it sounds kind of like Kubrick Winery.
Oh, I guess I did. So now you saw that happen. Also, this isn't how you act when you're high. You get a couple friends together and go see Oogie Loves and then talk about it on camera. This whole thing is like some highlight reel that you would throw on at a party if you just wanted to see random clips of the movie instead of the whole movie. Sort of like I do at my Terrence Malick clip show party. They aren't really clips, they're just the whole movies and no one seems to notice.
You could use a little work on your tan.
And with that, water balloon fight. Whew, it looked like it hurt. And that hurt too. Oh hey, a clip from You Can't Do That on Television. That's always welcome.
What's the matter? You afraid? Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. I should just reuse the footage of me reacting the same way in the Sleepaway Camp episode. Fuck, I almost forgot that Laura Branigan was in this movie. And Smokey is hot on her trail. Who the hell is this guy? Never mind that. Here's a clip of a kid dressed up as Freddy. Old clips are also way more intense when you tint it red. That way you know that something morbid is happening. Sort of like if you were a one-eyed gangster showing a prostitute the corpse of your dead girlfriend.
This. Do you believe in this? A young, beautiful, dead woman who looks to be about your age. Now do you believe that there's a chance that I could replace her with you in a matter of minutes?
I wasn't there when that happened. I'm just assuming that's how it went. Also, I remember this scene. She wasn't dreaming about this. She was dreaming about the fucking Happy Camper song. I will say, though, with clips of the first one spliced in with Angela #2 dreaming, for the first time in these sequels, it actually feels like I'm watching the same character. Alright, these guys again. That Platinum Dunes remake of Freddy vs. Jason is really fucking lazy.
Hey, faggot, where are you?
And it was written by Eli Roth for some reason. At least she's having flashbacks of the uncut version of the movie. Though again, she wasn't there when this happened, but that doesn't stop her from giving mundane commentary.
There's lots of good kids. We just have to weed out the bad.
That is what she did.
Right on. Now I know that Angela Baker kills people. The more I see of this, the more other things begin not making sense. I don't think this series was meant to be watched twice.
How did you get this job here?
Easy. I've got great recommendations from doctors, psychiatrists.
What kind of doctor recommended that a serial killer who killed people at a summer camp work at a summer camp? You are sued. So fucking sued. And the way this is edited, it looks like this truck is about to run over people in the middle of a lake. This scene brought to you by Frito-Lay. Bet you can't splice together just one sleepaway camp movie.
You wouldn't know where I can score some coke. Yeah, there's a machine in the dining hall.
I already know what happens, so... You know what?
A real good advice. Happy camping. Thanks. Have a nice life. God, what's left of it? One of the many.
I know. Unprofessional, right? Good thing I've never done anything like this in the past. And since they're running out of sleepaway camp clips where stuff happens, they begin showing us scenes where nothing happens.
Did you hear that? Something in the wood.
No, come on.
I think I'm running out of clips too. So here's Lloyd. Too bad they don't take the time to really re-edit these scenes to make them wind up hilarious.
Fuck.
But the editor for this has clearly lost interest around the same time as the viewer has.
Then you just sit there and you do nothing.
Oh, she remembers, all right.
What are you taking pictures? Quit it. You must be Angela.
I made no edits there. The fucking movie is off its Ritalin. Whoa, what's this? New footage? And it's, porn? Or a cut scene from Nail Gun Massacre? And cut to a scene of Angela and Paul. And cut to me showing you the Christmas Day clip because I forgot to earlier when I mentioned Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. Christmas Day! But Allison doesn't want to have sex with the Ranger. Though she's run away a little prematurely because he seems like a nice guy. Look, he's even trying to take the acid wash jeans off of her. That look is really dated. After escaping, she meets up with a hunter.
You scared the daylights out of me. What are you, crazy? You want to get shot or something?
What did you think she was? Yeah, I can see how you'd confuse a girl with ripped clothes for a deer.
I don't know where do I hide? I gotta get away from him. Where is he?
that him?
I kind of feel like we should have seen what was going on there, but we couldn't, because the production was shut down.
I don't like you.
God damn it, where the fuck did that come from? They had her providing voiceovers for scenes she wasn't in. Why can't she explain scenes she's actually in?
Now look who's being hunted.
Okay. Why are you doing this?
You're gonna help me.
It's a little hard for me to get mad since the only reason this is a jumbled mess is because the movie was never finished. But I'm still pissed off. This movie should have been perfect. As you can see, it's pretty much implied here that she's Angela since she's posing for some promotional artwork and gets interrupted by the ranger. And with no more stock footage, the movie just ends. Of course, maybe I would have been surprised about Allison turning out to be Angela if it weren't spoiled for me by IMDb. But when you have a character telling you 3 stories that only the killer would know about, it's not that hard to figure out. Plus, Allison Kramer, Angela Baker... subtle. This is a real reaction to a twist ending.
God, she's a boy.
That's a dick! Surprise penis shocks even the tightest of asses. What more can I say, though, about a movie whose own poster is also 90% stock footage of one of the other posters? Well, color me disappointed, especially in this independently released DVD, which you can tell is cheap because it smells like gasoline. That's okay. I hear that there's another full sequel, which seems appropriate, as they've completely run out of stock footage, so they might as well just make a whole new movie. Christ, I don't even think I have anything Sleepaway Camp related for the ending stinger.
I am the waffle maker.
Now here's a movie that many of you may not have seen, but may actually own it without having realized it. Popping up on many public domain discs is a little movie called Memorial Valley Massacre. Think Friday the 13th crossed with Don't Go in the Woods. I won't give you an exact answer to that equation, but I will tell you that it is most certainly something that I do not approve of. Memorial Valley Massacre comes to us from 1989, and it certainly carries a pro-environmental message way before movies like Birdemic made it cool.
Ma'am, you've got to understand that the natural balance in this valley is very delicate. Any invasion of the ecosystem by unrestricted vehicles like this one could destroy that balance.
That sounds right.
See, all you gotta do is just envision the movie's caveman killer to be an allegory for nature fighting back against those trying to destroy it. It's like if The Wind from The Happening were portrayed by Ringo Starr. Of course, given that the film is from the director of something called Zadar, Cow from Hell, it fails in that message. I will stick with Fern Gully, thank you very much. It doesn't contain any of your sex and stabbings and doobie smoking. But how else does Memorial Valley Massacre fail? Well, let's shut the fuck up for a bit and give this movie a watch. What the fuck? Okay, so I've had our entire show's opening credits sequence to think about what the possible explanation for this is. A lot of movies have alternate titles. This one's is Son of Sleepaway Camp. Supposedly it's some kind of international title, hoping to join the ranks of such greatness as Son of the Pink Panther, Son of the Mask, Son of Sam, Son of Godzilla, another Son of Sam. Wait, what? But this one doesn't even stop at just an alternate title. Listen, it uses the exact same soundtrack from Sleepaway Camp. You can even hear the campers from Sleepaway Camp begin to speak. knows who those voices are coming from? This group of old people in a movie that does not feature a Bunk 9 nor a children's summer camp. This is where the line between alternate version and fan edit begins to blur. Oh, and who added starring John Kerry? Oh, that's the actor's name. Oops, sorry. Here I was wondering why right-wing critics began swift-boating the film. This opening comes across like it's using music from another film in an unrelated slasher film that seems to be using stock footage from Pod People. Original music by Jed Fuhrer. That's funny. I thought he pronounced it Edward Billis. You know, as in the guy who did the music to Sleepaway Camp. Memorial Valley is basically the slasher movie version of Jellystone Park. A group of campers are waiting to get into the place, but they're being held up by Cameron Mitchell? Really? Maybe his sleigh and reindeer from Space Mutiny crashed.
As of this morning, we are without running water. Unfortunately, that means that we will temporarily be without restroom facilities.
What do you mean temporarily?
If that were any more hammy, he'd be wearing an I Heart the Monster Hero shirt. Cameron Mitchell is wanting to build superstores across the valley, but with a construction worker turning up dead and a dog being found in a well, the workers decide to go home. But they let the citizens camp there anyway. That's perfectly fine.
I ain't never seen nothing like this before.
Well, animals fall down wells all the time.
Ever known one to lift a 50-pound lid to do it?
Ever see McGruff go deep undercover? Give him enough sausage powder and he can lift anything. I think Cameron wants every other shot to be out of focus, so we won't recognize that he's in the movie. Maybe that's why his character disappears and he's replaced with his son.
What are you doing here?
Who is he?
He's my son.
Well, you said that if I ever wanted a job on one of your projects, I could have it.
Bet you wish you picked a better Cameron Mitchell project, like Swiss Family Robinson. But seriously, it's about time they let the citizens into Mexico so we can get some authentic Taco Bell. Huh? Okay, I'm not sure if switching the Sleepaway Camp music out and replacing it with Bubsy music was a good call. When did this get so fucking slapsticky? If this were any less slapsticky, they'd be singing about how their morning is inky dinky doodah. That's not what a tree sounds like. Oh good, now it's back to being a horror film.
George, something wrong?
Nothing, broken window, that's all. Well,
very scary. Broken windows are a bitch to fix. Unlike Sleepaway Camp, we get a good reveal of our killer 5 minutes into the movie. Nice cue with the Sleepaway Camp music. If I squint my eyes and put a dick on it, that could totally be Angela's son, since that's what I'm supposed to believe by the movie's title. Who did Angela impregnate? Or maybe this killer is just Encino Man and he's gone ballistic at a 7-Eleven because they wouldn't let him wheeze the juice. The two rangers aren't exactly getting along, but at least one of them has a chance at getting laid.
What's your name? Sangster?
Call me David.
Listen, Sangster,
Sangster? As in, the Sangster. Is that a name or just something that Richie came up with on Saturday Night Live? Don't worry, I think these two will start to get along soon, once the one on the left turns into Puchinsky. Or maybe even sooner.
how you feeling?
Tight. Sore, but not that bad.
Good.
I think that's what Jeff Stryker said after his debut. Unfortunately, they have a group of bikers on their hands. I think they're meeting up so they can discuss how they're going to harass Shelley from Friday the 13th 3D. Oh, hey, what'd they put Josh Hadley in the movie for? He's not going to like it.
Beer.
Glasses. Suit. Never mind the bikers. There's something else going wrong.
The snakes! For Christ's sake, dozens of them! All over our food!
See, we all laughed when Archall Sr. warned us. But now look at the mess we're in. We didn't watch out for the snakes.
We're leaving.
Sir, if you'll just give us a chance, I'm sure we
It's too damn late for that! What if my kids were here?
You know, that kind of begs the question, where are your kids? Rich loves Wendy's? I must agree. Large spicy chicken combo with a side of fries and honey mustard. I'd carve that love note onto a tree.
But which one of us do you like better? Me or Rick?
I don't know. You're both sort of cute.
Yeah, in a horse shack and the boyfriend from Troll 2 sort of way.
Well, I'm Mo, and they're Larry and Curly.
Ah, they're the Three Stooges, so that means at least these characters should be funny.
Does he look sort of like you? Why, yes. Sort of dumpy and stupid.
Now, just a minute.
Kind of fat and weird.
Never. He's probably out in the woods, humping Bambi.
Ugh, okay. So there's Sean Hayes, Will Sasso, and Chris Diamantopoulos. Got it. Are there any more unlikable characters this movie's gonna throw at us?
Excuse me. Are you aware that there's no off-road traveling allowed in this area?
Oh, bug off, asshole.
Hey, did you hear me?
I don't see no stinking badge.
Forget son of Sleepaway Camp. It's the son of Francis Buxton and Eric Cartman.
What's going on here? Smokey the Bear's taking my key.
While this movie has nothing to do with any of the Sleepaway Camp films, would you believe that this character is actually the perfect foreshadowing for the lead in Return of Sleepaway Camp? This kid is as intimidating as Ooter from The Simpsons. I hope they don't make him run. He's full of chocolates. Come on, the wall is pointing guns right at him. Shoot, shoot! Oh shit, he's found Lindsay Lohan's cabin. Oh, that sucks. Oh wait, it's just Tom Skerritt on steroids.
Well, my real name's Gloria, but all my friends call me Pepper. Peppermints. Get it?
And with that joke, this dog wishes it was the one from the well.
As a matter of fact, Pepper and I were just getting ready to watch the Army-Navy game of 1958 on my VCR. Goddamn, one hell of a game. We'll stick around.
I'd make a VCR joke right there, but I can't. I'm the guy who collects big boxes. So if Eddie Arbuckle starts riding around like a moron, and I think I know where this scene is going. Well, it can't go there. This isn't Son of Friday the 13th Part 5. I already know what happened to that movie's son. No, this character finishes off quite lame. Wow, graphic. The killer is bleeding more than the victim. So far, the most dangerous thing to happen at this campground is wet clothes, and their fire is out. How are we gonna save the s'mores? Nothing like telling a ghost story to a group of adults.
There, what we call hanging by his heels was a boyfriend. Throat cut, gutted, arm rocking back and forth in the wind.
The hell? Your story is more graphic than the movie. Even this guy's backstory is better than the one we're watching.
I met him in the Nam in 67. It was Special Forces Solo Enemy Reconnaissance.
Simply put, he's the best. Shit, we're drifting off into action-sploitation. We can't forget that this is a slasher film.
It's cold!
Well, nice to know she had a wet shirt clause in her contract. Anyone else want to try getting naked? I have a fetish for shitting on people's backs, so this is really doing it for me.
You know, I took a wilderness survival course last year, and a big part of it was about keeping warm without a fire.
Oh, yeah? What's the trick?
Well,
The trick is to film a sex scene.
yeah, so, if I were to put my body close to yours, and you were to put yours close to mine.
My God, if this movie were any more awkward, it'd be moment by moment. This is where it looks like she's pulling stuff out of his ass. It's even funnier the third time. Also, no joke here, it actually does get more awkward because this version inserts clips of hardcore pornography. Well, they certainly made up for Thunderstorm Girl not taking her shirt off. This movie gets everything right from Sleepaway Camp. The music, the porn. That movie starred a bunch of 13-year-olds. I won't be surprised if we get some facial inserts with these three.
Ooh, Tom, I like it when you take control like that.
Cut it out. Okay, I stand corrected. It's turned into a fucking Tom and Jerry cartoon again. Only with an intruder. Holy fuck, Son of Grizzly 2 is great. It's actually got a grizzly in it. It was nice of the grizzly to drop off Fatty Magoo to the campsite. Now they can stuff him and prepare him for dinner. But that isn't until after the ranger refuses to call the cops.
Now handle it my way.
Oh, that's great! That's just great! Now how are we supposed to call the police?
Let's look at the short way.
He's totally not calling the cops.
Wait, he did call the cops? What the hell was that previous scene all about then?
No, George, as long as that bear is still out there, you got a problem. We probably can't get any help to you out here until first of the week, if then.
Thanks, Officer Bedroom Eyes, but you are no fake mustache cop. Oh well, better take him to the medical lab at the Silver Shamrock Factory.
Yeah, life's a bitch.
I know, right? Some people are in Son of Sleepaway Camp, and some people have to watch Son of Sleepaway Camp. Everyone appears to be under the impression that the killer is a bear.
Now, I'm sure you've all heard by now about the boy who was attacked by a bear.
What? No, I haven't heard. What's this about a fucking bear? Why am I still camping here?
Nevertheless, I'm leading a hunting party this morning to get the bear, so I would like volunteers to show up at the camp store. We'll supply rifles for those who don't have them.
Or you could all just go home. And all of this over fucking Nell. The bikers want to finish off this bear, but they can't even finish off a shitty beer. If anything, they're just gonna piss off the bear.
No balls, no guts, no...
He's just mad because Jason Voorhees punched his head off in New York.
They're gonna do what they want no matter what you tell them.
Yeah, listen to the Gina Gershon trio there. They know they're bear hunting. It's a good thing that the ranger has Charles Bronson on his side. Now let's get to hunting.
Let's get moving.
Wait, that's not the music from Sleepaway Camp. Don't you think this track would work so much better?
You're the only girl I adore. You're just what I've been looking for.
What's it matter? The editing here is about as good as their hunting skills.
Aren't you keeping track? Track? I don't know about you, but all these trees look alike to me.
You fucking botanist. Treeist? Whatever. Hopefully someone here knows how to shoot. God damn it! This isn't a slasher film, it's cowboys and Indians! Wandering Tommy Wiseau looks so threatened. He better hurry because hell's bloody devils here have found his home.
Somebody live here?
Who would have thought that these guys would find the final resting place of Jesus? At least this gives him a chance to fuck with Egaz's remains, and they find his love letter that he wrote to Roxy. See? If you give any 90-minute slasher film an hour, something will happen. And just when you think that some kind of music should kick in, it doesn't. The music is certainly conveying my emotions. Nothing. Ah, all he wanted was the Confederate General's skull from Night of Horror back. But too late, he's still gonna kill you. Why does all the violence appear to be trimmed in a version that inserts hardcore pornography? No matter. Your ache's as good as new. Now back to the churchyard. At least the bear is finally off the hook.
It's been a man all along.
No, I'm still sticking with the bear theory. That would make for a much more entertaining movie.
You could have stopped it.
It might be my son.
Your son!
So... your sleepaway camp? Angela impregnated you? This is the most confusing non-entry in the series, but thankfully the death scenes remain cut and paste. Seen it? Jesus, someone needs a timeout. Between Beware Children at Play here destroying the Jeep, then the radio, and this, he's killed more machinery in this film than people. And the people he kills sure are easy to find. Shit! It's okay, it was just a trust fall gone wrong. I don't know how these people are gonna find the killer. He has a natural habit of hiding in plain sight. As in, there he fucking is, right in plain sight. Yeah, death scene, but more importantly, the fuck was he doing there?
You smell gas.
Well, it's got a bigger budget than any of the other sleepaway camps, I guess. And how the hell did he know how to do that? And how did she shoot the knife into this guy's chest? Oh my.
Feel good. Charming. Like that?
This is like watching Manimal fuck Melody Anderson mid-transition.
You're squeezing me too hard!
And that's what should have happened in Breaking Dawn Part 1. Jeez, 2 more dead bodies. If only we had all fucking left and gone home. But then who would have been here to stand around and do nothing? Oh hey, where the fuck have you been? Remember when those two had sex? Sure enough, one of them steps 5 feet away from the campsite and gets set on fire. Look, there's lakes all over the place. I'm sure he'll find one to jump in.
It's 5 a.m. It's Memorial Day.
Holy shit, it is? So? I'm more concerned with how Captain Caveman learned how to drive a fucking bulldozer. There he goes, destroying another truck. I really think these people are just standing in the killer's way of destroying every machine he can find. Let's set this guy loose on the Transformers films, please. He destroyed his father's shack, though, so now it's personal.
You go on. I'm staying.
God damn it, George. I can't just leave you here.
I'll be fine. Go. Now.
Please, go now. I can do this. I will kill the caveman. I like where this showdown is going. What the fuck? I guess 8 hours later we'll get the showdown. Nice to know they walked into the next day. Maybe Father can convince him that he is the son of Sleepaway Camp.
Are you Stephen Webster?
I knew it. He's Lee Van Cleef! What? With that music, he should have been shot through the throat with an arrow at the archery range, obviously. And this is how the fucking movie ends.
You can try, but you'll never find him.
Yeah, sure, you'll never find him, unless you sneak up on him, or if he's standing on top of a fucking hill in broad daylight. Well, that was a colossal waste of time. That movie had nothing to do with Sleepaway Camp, or proper filmmaking. Plus, according to the ending credits, the actual original title was Memorial Day, which explains that earlier bit of dialogue. Kinda makes me wish I had saved this episode for Memorial Day, but how was I supposed to know all that shit would happen? And with its open ending, will someone please tell me whatever happened to the kid from Mama? Here's hoping it's answered in the final Sleepaway Camp film, Return to Sleepaway Camp. Being a cinema snob such as myself, I haven't reviewed Return to Sleepaway Camp yet, but from what I hear, its ass stinks.
That's a damn good idea. But I didn't hear a damn thing.
Welcome to another episode of the Cinema Snob in a brand new place. No, this isn't gonna work at all. Well, this could work. Today we're talking about... I don't like this traffic sounds. Let's find somewhere else. Maybe this'll work. Except my lips aren't matching my words. And the quality's a little bad. Next. On today's Cinema Snob, the topic is...
Dude, do you mind? It's 3 in the afternoon.
Exactly. It's 3 in the afternoon. I'm not doing a floor season again. Sorry. Also, I kind of sound like God in this room. Chair against a wall, poster in the background, relatively familiar, sure, but as long as my ass is happy and comfy, I'll do just fine. And there's no better way to start out a new set than by finishing up the goddamn Sleepaway Camp series. Return to Sleepaway Camp brings back the original film's writer and director Robert Hiltzik, not to mention a few members of the original cast. Finally, we have an actual proper sequel to the first film, which means we have none of this.
Oh, I'm a happy camper. I love the summer sun.
And none of this.
Angela's back to slash last year's record.
And also no Sleepaway Camp 4 or Son of Sleepaway Camp, as if they fucking count. But... there is a lot of this.
Your ass stinks. Your ass stinks. Your ass stinks.
What'd you say?
Hey, Bella, your ass stinks. Your ass stinks.
Yep, it's the most official Sleepaway Camp out of the entire bunch. And it's the worst one yet. You know, I should be happy that the Sleepaway Camp films are over. But there is so much that is so fucking wrong with Return to Sleepaway Camp that it's like getting mad at the series finale of a show that I didn't even like. Sure, it's over, but why did David the Gnome have to turn into a fucking tree? That's fucking depressing! The film starts out more like a fan video of the first film and less like an actual movie. Isaac Hayes as the chef? Ooh, sweet reference that has nothing to do with Sleepaway Camp. This credit sequence is so bad, and that music is so grating, that it actually makes this catchy. And that's not even a fucking song! They try to be clever by keeping Felissa Rose, the original Angela's, name off of the credits, even though it had already been confirmed years before release that she's in the movie. Or maybe her name was in there, I don't know. They show us newspaper clippings about the events of the original film, but the camera is so fucking shaky that I can't read any of it. Chick had a dick, that's all you need to remember. So let's move on to the new film.
Okay, my turn.
Well, that's a classy way to start your film. Keep going with that, and I'm going to expect the Transformers to show up. It's in this opening scene that we meet Alan.
You better not break my lighter, Alan.
Oh, yeah? What are you gonna do? Piss on me like you do to your bed every night?
Shut up.
No, you shut up!
This is our lead. Alan is the camp delinquent, and it goes back and forth from him being a bully...
What are you dicks laughing at?
Nothing.
You making fun of me?
No, Alan.
...to him being the one who is bullied...
You out of your fucking mind! Let go!
...without any fucking consistency whatsoever. So all we are left with is an unlikable lead character who we do not feel sorry for when he is bullied. And when I say unlikable, that is the biggest understatement I've ever uttered on this entire show. Alan is arguably the worst lead character in any horror film ever made. I am not kidding when I say that Alan is the most unlikable lead since Triumph of the Will. I mean, look at this. He upset the cast from Stand By Me. That's just not cool. He has the classic traits of a bully. He picks on those around him with weaknesses, but a second later, someone bigger and tougher than him puts him in his place.
Clean it up. No, you! I said, clean it up! Let go of me!
I do not want to see a movie about this guy, because most of it just amounts to this.
Let me go, you big pussy! You don't tell me what to do! Let me go!
Oh, I get it, because he played Big Pussy on The Sopranos. It would have been much funnier if he called him a Scarboni. What? That was his character's name from the Jerky Boys movie. Much more obscure reference, which means I approve. Still doesn't make any fucking sense for it to be there, but I approve.
You kids have no respect for anything.
It's alright, Frank. I'll take it from here.
Oh, hey, it's Angela. Everyone say hi to Angela.
Hey, why are you talking like that?
So they can disguise her voice so we won't know it's her, even though we all know it's her. Ronnie, the background weightlifter from the original, returns looking like what every doo-wop performer of the 1950s looks like now.
Alan, I think we agreed you were going to work extra hard. Behave yourself.
I'm trying, Ronnie, but everybody keeps picking on me because I'm different.
No, they're picking on you because you're a fucking asshole. And the opening credits weren't lying. There's Isaac Hayes as Chef. Makes sense. Alan is about as likable as later season's Eric Cartman. And Lenny Veneto joins Vincent Pastore among actors who are way too good to be appearing in this movie. Instead, they're stuck acting opposite this.
Egg salad or tuna salad? That stuff sucks. I want ice cream. Well, that's tough shit, ain't it?
Though maybe it's worth it to see Veneto throw eggs at this piece of shit. Come on, Lenny. Al Pacino blew your brains into a fish tank in Geely. You've been in better movies than this.
Well, suck, I hope you die!
Funny. I was thinking the same thing about you.
Everyone's always picking on me!
Yeah, you think it's because you do shit like this? Seriously, the only friends this kid has is a group of frogs.
They're my friends. They don't care if I was sick once. They like me anyway.
No, they don't like you. In fact, they're probably praying that they were in a Ruggero Deodato film. Obviously, they want us to think Alan is the killer, but we already know Angela's in the film. Look, there she fucking is, so we know she's the killer, which renders scenes like this pointless.
Come on, Alan. Give me the knife.
Knife!
Wow, that was about as tense as a bowl of shredded wheat. And much like the first one with the pedo chef, the first person to die is the kitchen worker, in a very, very similar fashion. Son of a bitch. I think I know who the killer is. Oh, Toxie, must your avenging be so graphic? Good lord, he turned him into carnival food! Well, at least we don't get 5 minutes of this again. Okay, I still get it! It isn't until I see Ronnie's shirt here that I realize that the name of the camp is Camp Man-Abe. Okay. This was apparently Isaac Hayes' last released film before his death, which seems really sad, as he's mostly just standing there, saying nothing and looking depressed. He certainly paid more attention to the reactive mind when accepting this role. Even the extras look like they were put there at gunpoint. Fucking Alan isn't even pleasing to the eye. He looks like a paint can that's been shook up too much by a lousy painter who then fucked it. Add one giant crooked tooth down the middle of his face, and we have the words bitter virgin in human form. If it wasn't awkward enough, they actually make him flirt with someone.
What's that smell?
What smell?
Oh my god, it's you!
Me?
Look at him. What did you expect him to smell like? And why are they all standing in a straight line? There seems to be plenty of open space in this dance hall.
Wow, Alan, you must have some pair of balls! Oh my god!
Is it bad that I love seeing horrible things happen to this guy?
What do I got, a rumble going on here?
TC was picking on Alan again.
Because Alan's an asshole! He's more annoying than the stereotypical pothead, whose name in the movie is probably just Pothead.
Hey, Weed.
Weed. His name is Weed. Well, I was fucking close. I can't wait to see the camp slut, who is probably literally named Whore. Weed and his lackey wrap cow shit up in a joint and then talk Alan into smoking it. I'm having a hard time believing that there's really cow shit in there. For some reason, that leads to Alan's new nickname.
Excuse me? His name's Blowjob.
Nickname doesn't even make sense. His initials aren't BJ.
What's going on?
What do you think's going on? These hooligans were making fun of Alan again.
Who are you and why do you care? Since Weed is too high to get killed in a canoe out in the middle of the lake, he gets killed on land instead.
Hey, there's gas in those cans. What are you trying to do? Blow us up?
What are those even doing there? Oh, right. It's so they can play a part in his death. Gas is forced down his throat, a big piece of tape reading drugs are for dummies is put on his mouth, but none of this actually kills him. Bad CGI kills him. Okay, why was that note put on his mouth? He couldn't see that it was there, and it was burnt along with everything else, which means no one else can read it. I guess it was just a little something for the killer and the audience. The best part of this isn't even the death, it's his friend's reaction to the death. Are you upset that your friend Weed died, or are you upset that he's the one that had all the weed?
I got a bad feeling about this, Frank.
Yeah, I thought the same thing the first time Alan opened his big fucking mouth. Hey, look, there's Angela again. Wonder what she'll have to say now.
Heroin. Isn't that where that kid went on a killing spree?
Yeah, that's the place. Ruined the camp business for years. Ronnie was the head counselor over there.
What happened to that kid?
What happened to the kid?
You sure he's still locked up?
Why are you asking him this? You were there when the crimes happened. Oh my god, back foreshadowing. Also, I swear the soundtrack is on loan from an Uli Lamo film. I don't know what's worse, the music or another scene of Alan bothering people again.
I just wanted to ask Karen if she would go to my secret hideout with me.
Ooh, secret hideout.
I'm not leaving until you say yes.
When young Gacy asks you to his secret hiding place, you say no. There are plenty of nice people out there with crawl spaces.
Karen, would you just say yes so we could get rid of him? Are you kidding me?
Don't say yes, just kick his ass.
And if he don't leave soon, I'm gonna shove this mallet up his ass, and it ain't gonna be pretty, girls.
Thank you! Shove a fucking cactus up his ass! Seriously, who would want to spend 5 minutes alone with this fucking turd? Unless you're luring him into the woods just to shoot paintballs at him. Oh, how I wish this were Child's Play 3 and those bullets were real. Cameo time again. This time from Jonathan Tiersten, who played Cousin Ricky in the first film.
The head counselor over at Camp Manabi said this accident that happened over there may be related to your cousin Angela.
Why are you asking him this? You already know the answers. You're fucking Angela, and there's no one else there with you to give you a reason to put on this performance. This scene only exists just to show Ricky and to give another excuse for pointless exposition.
Angela is really a man now, isn't she?
You know what? Fuck you!
But I shouldn't complain too much, because along with Lenny Venito and Vincent Pastore, Tiersten gives one of the better performances in the movie. Too bad we have to cut back to this.
One day I'll show them, and I'll always stay with my friends.
The girls show up, amazingly, to see Alan, but it's ruined when some of the other douchebags throw skinned frogs at them.
You did this? Shit, yeah. But why?
Okay, now I want these fucking guys to die too. 1, they skinned frogs, and 2, they actually made me feel sorry for Alan. Why the fuck would you do that to your audience? And with Alan being Alan, explaining things doesn't help very much.
Stay away from me, Alan. Oh, I need you off my dock without a bathing suit,
Chicks don't have on bathing suits either. I can't believe no one has given him a wedgie yet. Well, that solves that. Plus, I think that this is the first bath he's been given in years.
What's going on here? What happened to him?
What do you think happened? When are you going to do something about this?
Okay, none of this works. In the original film, Angela was picked on, she was bullied, yes, and there was even a scene like this where she was thrown into the water. But Angela was likable. Angela had a sweet sort of innocence to her that made it more shocking when something slightly dark would happen with her character. Alan is none of those things. Alan is a bully who just so happens to also get bullied. When people in the story feel sorry for him, it makes no goddamn sense. At least Ronnie's still been hitting the gym, so I guess that's nice to know. A group of the other campers decide to pull another prank on Alan because, hey, it's Tuesday.
Come on, just a little joke. And besides, he likes it when we make fun of him.
No, I like it when you make fun of him. The only notable thing here is that we get to see a clip from the short-lived revival of Beretta.
Stinks.
What did you say?
Yeah, it did go over so well. The more I watch this, the more I think, why isn't this girl the lead? She looks a little like Angela, she's awkward, and I actually feel bad when she gets picked on. And if she were the lead, Alan would have been among the first to die. But no, he doesn't die, so we get to see a person shoot spitballs at him from all sorts of angles. Magic spitball theory. And there's shit like this.
What was that for? Shooting spitballs at me? No, you better not be.
I hope your herpes get herpes.
Let go of me! I'll let go of you. I'm gonna kick your ass out of this kid so fast you won't know what hit you!
You know, that's an interesting point. Why doesn't he fucking get sent home? In reality, this fucking prick would have been sent home after the first week of summer. Alan actually falls for the other's prank, which, oh zany, leaves him near naked on the stage. Still funnier than Napoleon Dynamite. Even though 2 people have died in this film, I still feel like nothing has happened, except that Ronnie is slowly turning into Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Who are you really? Where do you come from, huh?
Ronnie, you're scaring me.
Every single time Alan gets in trouble, there you are, Johnny on the spot. Why is that, Petey? Huh? Why?
What are you talking about?
Well, that sounds familiar.
What are you doing?
It's like all those other times. You get into trouble, you run to a rescue and try to take care of everybody. How are you gonna do it this time? Another drowning or something worse?
What are you talking about? Let me go!
I saw you those times!
And he does raise an interesting point. Why is she always helping Alan?
Oh, you know what I'm talking about? Peter? No, wait. It's not Peter, is it? No. It's Angela!
Oh, that's not Angela. That's Angela. Wait a minute. Why is she in this scene? Where did she come from? This movie is starting to get weird.
You kids better stop that noise and return to your bunks.
Okay, and it's also starting to turn into Assault on Precinct 13 for some reason.
Stop calling me that! Stop calling me that!
Okay, well, it's Precinct 13 if the Cholo just decided to call the grieving father a blowjob. And if it all ended in a tantrum and not a shootout.
Listen, I've been in this business a long time, and believe me, I've seen much worse tantrums than that.
Yeah, but the difference being, we didn't have to see a movie about that.
Fuck, why was I talking? Now Vincent is tied up for some reason and, uh-oh, rat death. The worst kind of rat death.
They had to put a black screen there because it was just too amazing for us to see. Or they blew their entire budget on Isaac Hayes, shitty credits, and shitty CGI.
Not that the side characters are any good either. These girls are so dumb that they didn't even see the killer standing in the room the entire time. Angela's getting on a roll here. After Big Pussy's non-death, now it's time to tie up one of the other counselors and Giovanni Lombardo Radice the hell out of his dick.
What, are we hanging some mice tonight?
You're about to get your dick cut off. Would you mind taking this more seriously?
He must have been tied up here for a while. Look, it's now daylight outside. Even his girlfriend has had enough.
Oh shit! He's coming after me!
What are you talking about? There's no one there! You couldn't even get someone to stand in for a faceless killer!
Fuck!
Even John Holmes would say that's not realistic. Damn, a penile death scene so severe, I didn't have to censor anything.
And this girl has to die too, because why the fuck not?
I guess she's fucking dead somehow. How is it that the man who brought us this is now giving us the shittiest death scenes since Son of Sleepaway Camp?
I feel bad that these campers now have to resort to porn. Back in the 80s, campers were banging all over the place.
But some things never change. People are still trying to kill them. Really?
Look at it! It's as sharp as a fucking spike!
Maybe. No, I can't tell. It's too dark down there.
What are you talking about? I can see it perfect!
Oh my god, you fucking idiots!
Wait, why didn't it cut to black? I don't like this movie's inconsistency. Next thing you know, it's gonna show this girl's death too.
What the fuck?
Well, they missed the perfect opportunity to have her bleed Skittles.
Thankfully, someone here knows what's going on.
What are you talking about?
She's back, Jenny. That evil little witch is back.
Who?
Acting.
It's Alan. Alan did this. I warned you guys and you didn't believe me.
You didn't believe her? Who wouldn't believe that this piece of shit would probably have some homicidal tendencies?
You don't want to be messing like that, Alan.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do!
That's a dick.
What? That what she said.
What's happening here?
I'll tell you what's happening. You keep killing people.
Wait, watch for this one dude's grand fucking entrance.
And he's already killed Frank and TC.
Hey, what's all the commotion?
Alan killed Frank, TC, Bella.
What?
Thank you for pretending like you give a rat's ass.
Of course, they bring back Ricky again, and once that happened, I started expecting Paul's severed head to show back up. We see the aftermath of that car wreck, and holy crap, this was my favorite villain from the climax of Cabin in the Woods.
You know that awesome moment when you realize that there's only 10 minutes of a movie left? It's pretty great. Except it's usually the longest 10 minutes ever.
That is, unless it involves horrible, horrible shit happening to Alan.
You're mean sick. You're a monster, Alan. Not sick. Yes, you are!
And here they go, searching for another plot twist, except this one was already figured out 80 minutes ago.
They have to be so mean. but they didn't know I was here, did they?
Oh my god, Angela's the killer, and she was the cop the entire time.
Michael thought skinning frogs was cool. Ask him how cool it is now. Angela!
Thank you for that, Ricky. You know, when you have an unreadable line, fuck it. Just go for it. How in the hell would someone not see this coming? You have a sheriff with obvious prosthetics on their face, with a fake beard and a voice box, played by someone who is not only obviously a woman, but obviously Felissa Rose. And if she's killing people for some kind of anti-bullying message, like she said, then why wasn't Alan the first one to go? Oh, it's so he would think that he was the killer, even though everyone already knows Angela is, and it's the sequel to a film that's mostly known for its shocking twist at the end, leaving people to wonder what the shocking twist in this film will be. Thanks, Shyamalan. You started out with The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable, and left us with The Village. Oh, but there's still a few seconds left. Ew. Where the fuck were those effects for the rest of the movie? Son of a bitch, if the rest of the movie's death scenes looked this good, at least it would have had that, instead of cutting to black and really shitty CGI. I really don't like this movie. What a nice self-aware moment. Because that's the making of a great follow-up to Camp, when it's fucking aware of itself. I don't get this movie. After 20-some years, we have a reunion of the original movie's creator, the original cast, and instead of it being any kind of proper reunion, it's just this guy crying and being an absolute dickhead, while everyone else has just resorted to cameos. And where the hell did Isaac Hayes go in this movie? He didn't even have a death scene. He just disappears 20 minutes in. Return to Sleepaway Camp sat on the shelf for 5 years before getting a straight-to-DVD release, which only resulted in nearly every review saying more or less the same things that I just said. And even now, there's still talk of a Sleepaway Camp Berserk 3D. Maybe it'll get shot next year with a 2018 release date. Or maybe it could be an actual proper follow-up to these characters. But until then, I am done with Sleepaway Camp films. So now, I can move on to something much better. Oh, what's it matter? Whatever I watch next is still gonna put me in a foul mood. Why the hell do I have a Caligula poster hung up? And the hell? Is that a Spanish Kingdom of the Spiders poster? George Lazenby? Is that you? Most of the posters haven't been unpacked yet.
Linda, goddammit, I can't fucking breathe! And you're hurting my fucking pecker!